Presented by PrintKcups.com. Taped live and in color from Studio 505 at the Tribeca Flashpoint Academy in beautiful downtown Chicago, Illinois. It's Steve Gadlin's Star Makers.
When you feel so full of talent and you've got that special pep.
When Hollywood and Broadway are calling you and you want to take that very first step. I'm Steve Gadlin's Star Makers.
You're gonna do fine.
I'm Steve Gadlin's Star Makers. It's your time to shine.
The audience is seated, the spotlight's shining bright.
Get out there, you shooting star and sparkle through the night. Yeah. I'm Steve Gadlin's Star Makers.
It's so loud.
I'm Steve Gadlin's Star Makers. You're wowing the crowd. Steve Gadlin's Star Makers. Steve Gadlin's Star Makers. Steve Gadlin's Star Makers. Yeah!
And now your host, Steve Gadlin.
Welcome to Steve Gadlin's Star Makers, where we bring you tomorrow's stars of Hollywood and or Broadway. Don't adjust your set, you're not seeing triple. I'm joined tonight by Courtney Smith and Jesse McGinnis, two lovely servers from the Tilted Kilt in Bolingbrook, Illinois. They'll be joining us in our PrintKcups.com studio audience. Jesse, how long have you been working at the Tilted Kilt?
A little over 2.5 years.
That's great. And what's your favorite item on their authentic Celtic menu?
Mashed potatoes.
Well, I hear the mashed potatoes are fantastic. And Courtney, how long have you been working with the Tilted Kilt?
I've been with Kilt for about 3.5 years.
The insiders just call it Kilt. Jesse, I hear you were recently selected to be part of the 2016 Tilted Kilt calendar. Tell us about that.
It's a huge honor. I was selected out of 1,500 contestants to be top 12 to be in the calendar.
That's fantastic. We're all very proud of you. Let's get straight to tomorrow's stars of Hollywood and or Broadway. Our first performer is a stand-up comic, so buckle up for some hilarious jokes. Here's comic Otis Boggs.
I know what you people are thinking. I look like Spanky just ate the rest of the little rascals. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm overweight, but I'm very athletic, which means when I do score, I'm too tired to celebrate. I did try out for sports when I was in school, but I didn't feel things were moving very fast for me in track. I did make a big splash, though, when I joined the dive team. Something else about me, I've had a lot of odd jobs. Like one time I was a roofer, but that job fell through. No worries, I bounced right back. For a short time, I was a pizza delivery guy, but I had a hard time explaining to the customers, hey, man, those 2 slices are on back order. All right, looking at me, you probably guessed I grew up the fat kid in the neighborhood. I did. I wasn't good at anything, running, jumping, hide and seek. I remember at a young age that food was going to be my biggest temptation. I remember this one Halloween, my friends and I went out to teepee houses and mess up some mailboxes, but I couldn't participate because in case we were to get caught, I would need a 1-block head start just to get away. Anyway, we get up to this one house, and as usual, I walk on down the street. I turn around and see my friends get started. Then I heard another guy coming out of the house yelling. So I took off running, but my friends took off running the other way. Well, 5 minutes later, the cops caught me because I was passed out on the curb. They told me they knew it was me and my friends and what we were doing. They said I could go free if I give them my friend's name. And I'm like, no way, man. I'm not going to narc on my friends. We don't rat on our friends, right? And me and the cops, we went back and forth, and finally one officer goes, I'll give you a king-size Snickers bar. I said, Timmy, Bobby, Mike, and Joey. Looking back, I only have one regret about that night. It wasn't so much for selling out my friends, but I think I could have held out for a second Snickers bar. You know, the generation of kids between yesterday and today is different. Like, kids today are out of hand. Like the other day, I had a 5-year-old flip me off and call me a fat jerk. I was like, pfft. After that, I wasn't going to give him back his ice cream cone. But I can't blame the parents because I'm having problems with my own son. He come home the other day. He had his pants sagging down real low. It's just me and my wife sitting on the couch. He walks through the door. He's like, "What's up, player?" And my wife's like, he's not going to act like that, dress like that. I'm like, relax, I'll have a talk with him. So I talked to my son, and then later that night I'm thinking, how do I know that when I get up and go to work and he goes to school, he's not going to do it again? So the next morning I'm sitting at the kitchen table with all of his underwear and a brown marker. He come out of the bedroom, he's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, keeping your pants up there, skid mark. And you guys know how teenagers get real defensive, right? He's like, I don't care. I'm going to wear them like that anyway. I'm like, go ahead, gangster skid mark. Let your friends know you ain't afraid to bust a crap. I know he's doing these things to fit in because he's having a tough time. He's getting beat up at school. And he come home, he's like, Dad, will you buy me karate lessons? I'm like, why don't you use your allowance to buy karate lessons? He goes, you don't pay me an allowance. I'm like, that's right, because you don't do nothing. I said, come on, I'll show you a movie I saw when I was a kid. It was The Karate Kid, man. He watched that movie, he was gung-ho. Wash, wax the car, paint the fence, paint the house, sand the floor, ready to go. Went back to school, got his butt whipped again. He come home, he's like, Dad, I didn't learn anything. I'm like, yeah, you did. You learned how to earn an allowance.
Otis Boggs, that was hilarious. Come join me at the intersection of Hollywood and or Broadway. Thanks for being on Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
Thank you.
How long have you been doing stand-up comedy, Otis?
Roughly 10 years.
Well, it's hilarious. A very polished routine. Very, very funny. And hey, when you're thinking custom coffee gifts, I want you to think printkcups.com. With custom flavors and designs, they're personalized. Single-serve coffee cups are sure to please clients, friends, and all the coffee lovers in your life. Printkcups.com for all of your custom coffee gifting. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more.
What's the attraction at Tilted Kilt Pub and Eatery? It's more than our 30 draft and bottled beers or our mouth-watering menu. It's the best-looking sports pub you've ever seen. Tilted Kilt Pub and Eatery. A cold beer never looked so good.
It's the Smarty Pants Balloon Kit.
You get the pump. You get the book. You get the balloons. You get everything to make everything. A dog, a cat, this hat, a monkey, a sword, a mouse, even this house. You get everything to make everything.
Be more fun at work.
Be more fun at school. Be more fun at party. You get everything to make everything. Order now and receive double the balloons.
You learn by doing. The great thing that you guys do here at Flashpoint is exactly that.
I don't think you could be here for too long without the sort of infectious nature of everyone being hungry to learn.
Tribeca Flashpoint is set up in a way where the whole direction of the school is preparing the students for the real world.
Show people that you're willing to do anything for what you want to do. No fear, no greed, no envy.
Do you know what time it is? I bet you just looked at a clock to find out, didn't you? Don't feel like a chump. That's what clocks are for, telling time. But I have a surprise for you. I didn't really want to know what time it is. I asked about clocks to get you thinking about clocks. Now, can you guess what this next song is about? That's right. It's clocks. Here's Amy Sumpter with the original song, Clocks.
I like clocks because they tell time, and time's important all of the time. Imagine a poem that didn't rhyme, and that's what it would be like if there was no time. Clocks are mostly round, you know, but I once saw a square one though. Clocks hang up above your head and on the table by your bed. There's the big hand and the little hand, and some clocks have a second hand. They can say, look, Ma, no hands. All of those hands are like a rock and roll band. They tell the time to every boy and girl in the land, from the tall, tall trees to the desert sand. Clocks get the prize. Let's give them a hand. Yay, clocks. You can sing along. Yay, clocks. Telling time sure rocks, and you think you could do it, but you just can't do it. No, you just can't tell time without a clock. One time with my good friend Lou, we couldn't find a clock, so what did we do? We found a stranger and we gave him a dime. We said, hey buddy, could you tell us the time? He balled his fingers into a fist. Then he rolled up his sleeve and he showed us his wrist. We got so scared, then we started to say, it's 10 to 3 and have a nice day. The thing on his wrist, it's called a watch. It's like a little clock with a strap and a notch. It lets you carry clocks wherever you walk because they're light as a feather, not stiff as a rock. Clocks break dance! What's the time? It's time to get sick. Yay, clocks. Yay, clocks. Telling time sure rocks. And you think you can do it, but you just can't do it. No, you just can't tell time without a clock. Unless you're psychic. Think you could do it, but you just can't do it. No, you just can't tell time without a clock. I really want a mic drop, but I don't own this microphone. So everybody buy a watch or a clock. Yeah!
Amy, come on over to the intersection of Hollywood and/or Broadway. Thanks for being on Steve Gadlin's Star Makers.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I sure learned a lot about clocks and telling time. Tell me, what brought you to write a song about clocks?
You know, you see them everywhere, and like clocks are a part of everyone's life, and I'm always late, so I thought maybe I should respect time a little bit more.
Hey, you take the inspiration wherever you can find it. Can you tell us where else can people hear you sing and dance and tell jokes?
You can see me at the Laugh Factory the first Thursday of every month with the Kates, and you can find me at amysumpter.com and she's crafty shy, CHI.com.
She's crafty shy. That's great. I'll be sure to check all of those out. Amy, we loved having you on the show, and we really were inspired to hear your song about clocks. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Moo! Nay! Quack! Blook! 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 Are you feeling like you're visiting a barn yet? Well, that's because I'm making different noises that barn animals make. You might think our next act has some sort of animal talent. Nope. Our next act is a stand-up comedian, and his name is Mike Barnette. Do you get it? Well, that won't be all you get, because stand-up comedians are just full of jokes. Here's Mike Barnette, stand-up comedian.
It is great to be in Chicago here. I am so jealous of you guys. You guys have this fantastic zoo. I love going to the zoo whenever I travel. I always check out the zoo. And I went to your zoo, and I loved it. I went back home, and I hadn't been to my local zoo in like 10 years. So I thought, I'm going to check it out, because it was a childhood thing from last time I was there. So I went, and it was like $8 to get in, which I thought was really reasonable. I was like, $8, that's cheap. Until I realized that is like $1 an animal. And they have things at my zoo they don't have at other zoos. We have a cow. One very sad, very lonely cow. And there's like a dog and some cats, and if you're there at the right time and they happen to land inside the fence, you will see some birds. But they do have one thing I love. They have the chimpanzee exhibit, and I love that because they're like people. They have personalities. So I start walking towards the chimpanzee exhibit, and he sees me walking up there, and he smiles at me. So I'm like, cool, I got a moment here. I smile back at him. I'm like, I get all the way up there. He makes eye contact with me, and then he flipped me off. I'm like, no, monkey, come on. I'm free, you're behind bars. Bam, right back at him. He kept the eye contact. He kept the smile on his face, and he flipped me off with both hands. I'm like, oh, monkey, come on. So I hit him with both hands. And I'm like, whoa, what is he doing? He reached back behind himself, and he grabbed some poo, and he threw it in my direction. I was like, phew. And that's how I got kicked out of my zoo. they wouldn't even let me wash my hands first. So I'm at school now. Also, it's weird going back to school because I took some time off. And when I'm a full-time student, and when you're at school, you tend to end up with the same people in your classes as in the program. And I always tend to get stuck with a young lady who's in my program. We get stuck doing projects together. And it's something weird always happens. We get along great, we hit it off, and she always goes, I was wondering something. How old are you? And at that point, I'm always like, I was wondering something too. What's your mom doing? Let's see, I have a little girl. She's 8 years old. She's half Chinese on my side. And when she was a little tiny baby, she was a little bitty thing. I would take her everywhere I went. I'd take her to the store with me, and people would always stop me, and they'd be like, oh, my God, she's beautiful. Where'd you get her? She's my daughter. But where did you get her? I'm like, man, we can have this conversation, but it's going to get awkward really fast. She's my daughter. They're like, and that was so sweet of you to do that. But where did you get her? I'm done. I'm like, oh, aisle 5, next to the fortune cookies. There's a whole bit of them crawling around each other, mostly girls. And I'll tell you, the thing about that makes me the most angry, it's not that people think I'm rich enough to adopt a child, but they assume you see a white guy with a half-Asian child must be adopted. It's not true with all races. If you go to the mall and you see a white girl with a half-black child, you're going to go, oh, she's, adopted that kid. You're like, oh, she's dating a black guy. No big deal. If you were to see me walk to the mall with a half-black child, you'd be like, oh, he's babysitting his sister's kids. Or he's dating a black guy. Thank you very much. That's my time. Mike Barnette.
Mike, that was hilarious. Coming over to the intersection of Hollywood and/or Broadway. Thank you for being on Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It was a real pleasure. Now, you have to tell me, how long have you been telling jokes?
Telling jokes or doing comedy?
Well, that's a good distinction. How long have you been doing comedy?
About 3.5 years.
That's great, and you're right. Telling jokes is a whole different thing. This is great storytelling, comedic and hilarious. And what brought you to that art?
I decided to try it on a whim. I had some friends that were doing comedy, and I decided to try an open mic one time, and it went really well. So I kept coming back, and now I do it regularly.
That's awesome. About how often are you performing now?
As much as possible. I try to get at least a stage a week, but as many times as I can get on stage, I try.
That's great. And what city are you based out of, Mike?
Mishawaka, Indiana.
Mishawaka, Indiana. That's a fantastic town. That's near South Bend?
It is right next to South Bend, yes.
I love it. It's a beautiful town. Well, we loved having you on the show. Tell me, is there one main comic who you find is your inspiration?
Growing up, I loved George Carlin. That'd probably be the number one.
That's great. I love George Carlin. He's a very funny guy. We're sad. We miss him. Yeah. Well, Mike, we loved having you on the show. We have a lot more coming, so everybody stick around. We'll be right back.
Well, one way I like to show that I like something is by wearing a t-shirt about it.
We all have that in common, I suppose. Looks like we're all fans of Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
I sure am. I like it so much I bought this t-shirt on their website.
Which website again?
SGStarmakers.com.
Walter E. Smith, marker.
Action. Walter E. Smith designers are unbelievable. They'll come to your home, lay everything out. The results will be incredible.
At Smith, it's all about making your design vision a reality. The Smith designer will be your expert guide through this whole journey.
At Walter E. Smith, our designers help you find what you're looking for.
You'll find a look that fits at a price that fits.
If you're going to put money into furniture, you ought to get good quality furniture that's going to enhance your lifestyle.
Modern luxury, hand-picked, one-of-a-kind pieces. It's all here at Walter E. Smith. Come on down and see us today.
You learn by doing. The great thing that you guys do here at Flashpoint is exactly that.
I don't think you could be here for too long without the sort of infectious nature of everyone being hungry to learn.
Tribeca Flashpoint is set up in a way where the whole direction of the school is preparing the students for the real world.
Show people that you're willing to do anything for what you want to do. No fear, no greed, no envy.
The great thing about music is that if it's filled with nice lyrics, it can be really educational. Songs can teach you things just like regular sentences, only it's better because you hear notes all over the scale. Here's a cool group called Honor and Decency with their original song, How About Both?
Are we drunk or are we sleepy? How about both? How about both? Being nice or is he creepy? How about both? How about both? Is she pregnant? Is she fat? How about both? How about both? Real small dog or real big cat? How about both? How about both? Is this a wig or is this my real hair? It is a wig and it is my real hair. I made a wig out of my own hair. I made a wig with my own hair. Do you love me? Do you hate me? How about both? How about both? Hooking up or wanna date me? How about both? How about both? Are you funny or just mean? How about both? How about both? Male, female, or in between? How about all? How about all? Gender is non-binary. Gender is non-binary. Gender is non-binary. 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 Except I'm a woman. And I'm also a woman. Jordan?
I'm a man.
Yes. Okay. But in general, gender is non-binary. Life is full of questions and mysteries. We're not just talking about spooky mysteries. We're talking about cosmic uncertainty that leads us to create false dichotomies. But what if instead of choosing one or the other, we opened our minds and engaged with each other? And examine the world in all its complexity instead of reducing it down for simplicity. You get it? Hey, audience! When we say which one, you say both. Which one, both? Which one, both? When we say, wait, what? You say value complexity. Wait, what? Value complexity. Wait, what? Value complexity. That's right! Democrat or GOP? How about both? How about both? Ted Cruz or Hillary? How about Hillary? Definitely Hillary! I mean, I feel like in politics,
You do actually have to
do have
choose
to
one.
pick one.
It's just one vote. It's
It's
one
just-
leader, so it's
a democracy.
It's actually one choice. So.
But you guys, in general, I really feel like politics should be bipartisan.
Artisans should be by artisans.
Does that mean artisans be bisexual?
I don't see why not.
Huh! Nothing in this world is black or white.
But I'm black.
Yes, and I am white.
And I'm white as well. Okay.
Nothing in this world is black or white. Everything is just.
Everything is just.
Everything is just.
Everything is
just. An ugly shade of gray.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honor and Decency, what a great performance. Come on and join me at the intersection of Hollywood and or Broadway. Thank you for being on Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
So let's say our names to the camera so everyone at home knows who we are.
Claire.
Jordan.
Meredith.
And I'm Steve Gadlin. Well, that was such a great song, and I think songs with meanings are real important to listen to. That one seemed to have a lot of meanings. In a sentence or two, why don't you tell us the main idea?
Well, it's about, in our polarized world, how everyone feels the need to categorize. And we think that if we could shatter the categories, break the binaries, and smash the dichotomies.
Did you know that we're on Twitter? Well, to talk about our show, make sure you add Tic-Tac-Toe Star Makers to the end of your tweet. That was fascinating, what you were saying as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
Well, one way I like to show that I like something is by wearing a t-shirt about it.
We all have that in common, I suppose. Looks like we're all fans of Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
I sure am. I like it so much I bought this t-shirt on their website.
Which website again?
gstarmakers.com.
You learn by doing. The great thing that you guys do here at Flashpoint is exactly that.
I don't think you could be here for too long without the sort of infectious nature of everyone being hungry to learn.
Tribeca Flashpoint is set up in a way where the whole direction of the school is preparing the students for the real world.
Show people that you're willing to do anything for what you want to do. No fear, no greed, no envy.
It's always sad when our show comes to a close, but I'm happy that you were here watching with us, and I hope you enjoyed meeting some of tomorrow's stars of Hollywood and/or Broadway tonight. Come back next week for more talent than you can shake a stick at. Oh, the acts tonight were really great. Would you look at the time, though it's getting late. I hope to see you next time. See you next time. I hope to see you again. Well, the world is such a scary place, and I find peace when I see your face. I hope to see you next time. See you next time. I hope to see you again. We're born, then we die, and in between is a cacophony of chaos. What does it mean? I hope to see you next time. See you next time. I hope to see you again.
Yes, I hope to see you again.
Remember to dream big and do awesome things. This is Steve Gadlin saying, see you next time.